So hello guys, welcome to the next lesson. So we will now get some other loops started, but first of all I will introduce you to the metadata. So metadata is pretty powerful in Houdini in loops, and let's get started. So click on this loop and click on create meta import node. So I want here, let's call it meta underscore 002, and let's get it inside of here, something like that. Let's move that a little bit. So I want to use the metadata to turn that here, because it looks not random, the turning, and let's do it random. So let's get a transform here, and let's get this like so. And you can see that when we will turn here on the rotation, let's get a centroid here, so the centroid function, centroid bracket 0.0, 0, 1 and 0, 2. So we will get the centroid of each here, and you can see when we will turn here that we will turn the whole thing, but I don't want that. I want it a little bit random. So let's get the metadata included in this transform node. So let's get right click here, reference scene data. Let's go to the object level, to the sub level, and let's go to meta 002, so this node here, and let's go to global iteration. It's also this command, so detail bracket dot slash meta comma iteration and 0. So now we've got rotate 4. Okay, what's that? That's the current iteration. So this is iteration 0, this is iteration 1, 1, this is iteration 2, 2, and so on. But now we can use that to create a randomizer. So let's get in here, let's get rand, and we will use the whole function here, so the current iteration, as a seed for the rand, and we will time that, so times, we create a channel, and let's call it iter turn. So let's copy this, because when we click now apply, we will got an error here, bad parameter. So we don't got this parameter, so let's create this parameter here. Go to the clock wheel here, edit parameter interface, and let's get a float parameter. So let's get it right down here. Let's grab here a float right down here. Let's get a name in iter turn, and let's call it iteration turning. Let's hit apply. We've got here our new channel. Accept. The error is also gone, and now we can turn it. And the cool thing, it will happen on a random value. So you can see, for example, this one right here turns slower than this one right here, because it will get multiplied with the random value here. So just to get some little randomization into the whole loop. So that's the function here, pretty simple. Let's accept this, and this is our loop. Let's get other loops included, but first of all let's get a merge, let's get a null, and let's call this out detail Let's call it 001. And let's just let it stay right there. So let's get another split up. So let's get here an attribute delete. Let's just delete the primitive, the index value. Good. And let's delete the group. So group delete function, let's delete every group. So after that we will only got the point attribute, and let's just get this here, get this whole tree here, copy it down, connect it, and we will split this group here again in two different groups. So this one group here will stay until the end. It will not get further splitted. So let's get this here. Something like that, yeah. Let's randomize it a little bit. Let's something like that should be fine for now. Good. So let's get a new loop running here. And with this loop we will create a little growth. So pretty simple. Let's go over it. So for each, we'll go again for each little piece here, for each little ring. Let's make this maybe green. So let's get started. I want to resample that a little bit. Let's get a resample node here, and let's resample it pretty good. So something like 0.02, that should be fine. Now let's get a polywire, and let's get here geometry, and let's get thickness. So 001, that should be fine, and let's get the divisions to maybe 9. That should be alright. Let's get it a little bit bigger, so something like that. So now let's remesh it. Let's get here remesh. And let's get the target size a little bit lower, something like 0.01. So now I want to get geo. Let's get a null node here called out, or let's take it in geo. And let's get a scatter. So let's get a 1 point, and we will randomize it later based on this new metadata node. This is 003, I think. Yes. Scatter. We will scatter 1 point, and we will copy to point 1 sphere. Let's get one little sphere here. Let's look at the size. So template this one here. Let's get a size down. Let's get it pretty small. 0.0. Yeah, that should be alright. So 0.02. Nah, 1.5. So 0.015. That should be fine. Let's make it a polygon. And let's make a group here. Let's make a group. Let's call the group grp start. Let's get it right here. Let's get the sphere connected to the second input, and let's get here bounding objects and points. So this will select a point, but first of all let's get some primitives deleted here. So let's get a wrangle here and let's delete some primitives. Let's call this delete rand prim, and let's get some simple vex here. Float rand equals rand. Let's get a rand function. Let's get add ptnum. So this is our seed. Add ptnum, and let's get even a controller called seed. And now if the rand value, it's basically the same thing with the group, is over a certain threshold, we will delete some primitives. So I think the function was remove prim, yes, remove prim, and it's the first input, so the 0, this is the first input, and 0 in the vex function, and that we want to delete the primnum, and a 1 in the end. Let's have a look if that will work. Oh, I forgot the semicolon here. And let's delete some of them. Something like that. Let's get it in here. Now we will select the points with the group. And the cool thing is, let's get some random endpoints, because we will make a simple short find shortest path grow. So let's get a group expression here. Let's get points, and let's get here 30% chance, and let's dial it down to maybe 0.1. Let's get here grp, and let's call it end pts for endpoints. Let's call this your start pts for start points. Oh, let's get this into here. And now let's find the shortest path between those two groups. Start points, endpoint, endpoints. And now from any start to each end. I think that should be fine, from any start to each end. Yes. And now you can see we've got here our shortest path grow. So let's disable the template here. Let's get some random values started here. Something like that. And I think that should be fine here. Looks pretty cool. Let's get in the end a little fuse node here to fuse some points together. Yeah, something like that should be fine. So now we can play, of course, with the seed and how much we want to get. You can even get here a lower value in, so something like that. And when you get this here down, you will get even more smaller path grow. So I will stay with that here maybe. So it's 0.005. And let's get this out of the loop. And now we've got this here. So let's get some of them into this loop. Let's get 3. I think, no, let's get maybe 4. I think that should be alright. Yes, cool. So, okay, Houdini crashed. But that's for this chapter, or for this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson.